Greetings, all my friends. I want to thank you for showing up here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So it's Sunday. Yep, Sunday night's coming up, and that means two music commonalities compared. Ben, who is a subscriber of mine, has given me the two music commonalities, and now it's my turn to compare them. So he gave me these after, he usually gives me them after the episode is over for the next week. So the two he gave me this week, Thin Lizzy's Phil Lynott and Rush's Geddy Lee. So what do these two guys have in common other than they both play rock and roll music? So I think their music is quite different. Although, one of the commonalities here is that they both have that hard element to their music. I would say that Thin Lizzy's a hard rock album with a little bit of a metal tinge to their music, whereas Rush is a bit more of a metal band with a bit of hard rock to a tinge, but they also have a lot of progressive rock in their music. So that's one of the commonalities they have. The other thing, of course, the most obvious thing is that they're both bass players. Now, Phil Lynott came to his bass playing by being promoted in the band to playing the bass. They needed a bass player, so he took over the role. Geddy Lee, kind of the same thing, but not while he was in the band. He joined the band after their bass player left the band, and then he was actually fired from the band, apparently, and then brought back. So, yeah, fortunately, he's a pretty forgiving individual. So, yeah, but both bass players, both good bass players. I think Geddy Lee is a much better bass player, but both of them, to my way of thinking, are really good and adequate for what they're doing. The other commonality about them, of course, is that they're both the lead singers for these two bands. Phil Lynott singing lead for Thin Lizzy. I think he pretty much did all of the lead vocals for the band while he was alive. I don't know what they've done since, if they've done any tours, who they've had, or whatever. Geddy Lee, of course, has done all the lead vocals for Rush from the inception. So both of them, from the inception, the lead vocalist for the band. Also, I would say they're both pretty dominant frontmen. Phil Lynott maybe a little bit more of a dominant frontman, being the frontal force in the band, putting it all together, doing all the things that need to be done, and doing the lead vocal parts. The same with Geddy Lee. Kind of between him and Alex, they write the music together, with Neil doing the writing. But him being the vocalist, bass player, and keyboardist of the band, and basically being the introduction type of guy, as well as being the center of the stage. So the other thing that they have in common is that they both write the music, are both involved in the music writing of their bands. I think Phil Lynott actually does some of the lyrical writing as well, but Geddy Lee does very little of that, or if he does any at all, Neil usually looks it over and changes what needs to be changed and presents it properly. I think more than likely that's it. But basically, I think that the lyrics were by Neil Peart, so a little bit different there. The other thing too, both these guys would be in the kind of the same range of age as well. But of course, Phil Lynott died when he was 33. Geddy Lee's still alive and playing music. But Rush is no longer, Thin Lizzy is no longer. And maybe neither one of them will ever be longer again. The biggest noticeable difference between the two is the range in their vocals. So Geddy Lee has a very high range of vocals, one of the highest I've heard. Very few people sounding like him, which is also a commonality that he has with Phil Lynott, who's at the other end of the spectrum. Very deep voice, one of the deepest voices I've heard in rock, and very very unusual voice. Nobody sounds like Phil Lynott. Nobody sounds like Geddy Lee. So they have that in common, but just at very different ends of the spectrum here. I think both have distinguishable voices. Like I said, nobody really sounds like them. And the other thing I like about them is both of them have put out a lot of really good music. And I've enjoyed listening to them over the years. I've begun to become more cognizant of Thin Lizzy's deeper stuff and more of their albums. Before I knew their hits, I knew the common songs you heard on the radio. I had an album or two that I had taped, but I didn't have a great in-depth study of the band. But definitely they are one of the bands that I've actually come to enjoy quite a bit over the last 3 or 4 years, and although I've been listening to them since the mid-'80s. So there you go. There you have it. Those are the two people we did today, Geddy Lee of Rush and Phil Lynott of Thin Lizzy. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Two Music Commonalities Compared. If you got any comments about either of them, you can put them in the comment section below. Did I miss something? Was there something that you thought was a commonality that for some reason I didn't mention? You can put that in the comment section below as well. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe. Both those things help me. And I will see you next week. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. So take care and have yourself a good week. Bye.